Hi, this is Ajay Anand and welcome to Social Science classes from excelup.com. In this lesson, you will be learning about the electoral process in India. In fact, elections are integral to a democracy because without election, we cannot imagine about democracy. And especially in the case of India, elections carry the value of a mega festival. In this lesson, you will learn about what is the need for elections, then about the system of elections in India. You will learn about the election commission, how does it work. You will learn about the trend of popular participation in elections in India and the challenges of free and fair elections. Why do we need elections? Elections are required because the basic theme of democracy is that it's a system where rulers are elected by the people. So, for electing the rulers, you need to have elections. So, elections are required because people need to choose those people who can make laws. Voters can choose people who will ultimately form the government, and voters will choose the political party which will guide the government and which will guide the formulation of laws. Let us see what are the features of democratic elections. The first feature is universal adult franchise, which means that every adult citizen gets the voting right and the value of each vote is same, whether the voter is a poor person or a rich person, whether the voter is in some powerful position or not, it does not matter for the value of vote. Then democratic elections offers choices to people. So until unless people get a choice, we cannot term it as a democratic election. So for example, if there is a country where only one political party is in fray in the elections, then it cannot be a democratic election. In case of India, there are many political parties and for every seat there can be 50 candidates or even hundreds of candidates fighting for the same seat. So people get endless choices to elect from. Then democratic election also gives people the chance to elect their rulers at regular intervals. So in case of India, the elections for Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha, they are conducted after every 5 years. So after every 5 years, people get a chance to elect a new set of rulers. Then elections should be free and fair in true democracy. So free means that people should go out and cast their vote without fear or favor, and fair means that the muscleman or ruling party, it should not try to influence the election by unfair means. Political competition. Many people complain that political competition breeds corruption and malpractices, but reality tells otherwise. Because what we often see that even powerful politicians, they lose elections. Had they have indulged in malpractices, then they could not have lost the election. Then fear of losing or inclination to winning the election motivates the legislatives or rather MLAs or MPs to work towards the welfare of people. So it can be said that political competition is good for the people and it's good for the politics also. Electoral system. In India, there are electoral constituency. The whole country has been divided into many electoral constituency based on population. So for Lok Sabha, there are 543 constituencies. That means that there are 543 seats in the Lok Sabha. Different states have a different number of seats. for Vidhan Sabha, that depends on population. Then apart from the constituency, out of these constituencies, some constituencies, they come under the reserved category, which means that these constituencies are reserved for candidates from scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. As per the latest data, there are 84 seats for scheduled castes in the Lok Sabha and 47 seats for scheduled tribes in the Lok Sabha. This means that people from this section, they are only allowed to contest election from these constituencies. As far as voters are concerned, voters from every caste or every group, they have to vote for these candidates. So there is no reservation for voters. The reservation is for the candidates. Then there comes the voters list. The election commission prepares the voters list and it updates the voter list from time to time. A couple of months just ahead of election, voter list is updated because some of the voters may have died. Then there will be a category of new voters, people who have attained the age of 18. Then there are people who have left a particular place and they have migrated to other place. So that is why there is a need of time to frequent updation of the voters list. Election Commission also issues the voter photo identity card for voters. So this card contains the photograph, name, date of birth and address of the candidate. While going to cast the vote, one has to carry the photo identity card to the polling booth. If a person does not get a voter ID card on time, then he can carry some other ID cards also, like driving license or PAN card or passport. Then nomination of candidates. A candidate who wishes to fight the election has to file his nomination at the DM's office, and while filing the nomination, he has to deposit some money as a security deposit. He also has to give certain details, like details of criminal cases pending against him, then details of assets and liabilities of the candidate and his family members, and educational qualifications, so that the people, they should be aware about the credentials of the candidates they are going to vote for. Election campaign. Political parties and politicians deploy various methods for election campaigns. So for example, they hold rallies, road shows, then they display advertisement. You can find advertisement on hoardings in newspaper, on pamphlets, then advertisements are there on television and radio also. Nowadays, you can also see advertisement on internet. Certain activities, they are prohibited during election campaign. For example, the candidate cannot threat or bribe the voters. Then candidate cannot ask for votes in the name of religion or caste, and candidate cannot use government resources while campaigning. Apart from these guidelines, the Election Commission has also put a ceiling on the expenses by candidates. So for Lok Sabha election, the limit is 25 lakh for a candidate, and for Vidhan Sabha elections, it is rupees 10 lakh for a candidate. So candidate has to give details of expenses also to the Election Commission. Model Code of Conduct. Once the election dates are announced, the Model Code of Conduct comes into force, and as per the Code of Conduct, certain activities are prohibited. So now nobody can use a place of worship for election propaganda. Then candidates cannot use government vehicles, officials or aircraft for election campaign purpose. Then the ruling party cannot lay a foundation stone of any big project. It cannot announce any big ticket program. So these are the Model Code of Conduct. Polling and counting. Now, India is among the few nations which uses EVMs. EVM stands for electronic voting machine. Before the days of EVM, the votings used to take place through ballot paper, and the ballot paper was put in ballot boxes, ballot boxes were quite heavy, and it was difficult to carry ballot boxes to and from polling stations. Chances of malpractices was quite rampant because of ballot boxes. So EVMs have made the life easier because they are lightweight. One can store thousands of votes in an EVM, and on the day of counting, what happens? Because of EVM, the counting starts early in the morning, and the final results is known by the evening. So all the results, they are out within a day. But in the case of ballot boxes, it usually took 4 days or 5 days to announce the results. Recently, some politicians started complaining about possible malpractices in EVMs also. To prevent that, the Election Commission has introduced VVPAT. VVPAT stands for Voter Verified Paper Audit Trail. So this is a printing device. If somebody wants to have the trail, he can take out the print so that he is assured that his vote has gone to the electoral symbol on which he pressed the button. Even during counting, if somebody raises a doubt, the paper trail can be printed out to cross-check the process. So EVM and VVPAT, they have helped immensely in minimizing the chances of malpractices during polling and counting. Election Commission. Election Commission is an independent constitutional body, and it is headed by the CEC. CEC stands for Chief Election Commissioner, and the CEC is appointed by the President of India. The CEC gets absolute power in terms of conducting the elections. So once election dates are announced, it is impossible to remove the CEC, and the whole civil administration comes under the CEC, so that elections can be conducted in free and fair manner. Popular participation. There is a perception that people they have started losing interest in electoral process, but the data suggests otherwise, because the popular participation, it has been increasing among people, and in some of the recent elections, the voter turnout went to up to 80% at some of the polling booths and even at some of the constituencies. So this shows the rising trend in popular participation. Usually from people from poor class, they come out with full enthusiasm to cast their votes. But recently, people from middle and upper classes, they have also started actively participating in the polling process. So this is a healthy trend as far as popular participation is concerned. Electoral outcomes. There is a perception that too many malpractices happen during elections. So now let us check the reality. So the reality says that ruling party often lose the election. So in many states and even at center, the government changes after the election. Then large number of sitting MPs and MLAs, they also lose elections. This also shows that elections they are conducted in fair manner. Then whatever the electoral outcome is usually accepted by the losing party as people's verdict, and everything after that goes smoothly. Challenges to free and fair elections. There are many challenges, like big parties, they have the edge of money and resource with them, and the smaller parties and independent candidates, they do not get level playing field during elections. So that is one challenge. Then people with criminal background, they dominate the election in certain constituencies, and in those constituencies people often vote in the favor of Muslims out of fear. Many parties, they are dominated by some families, some select members of a family. So in this scenario, a common worker from a political party does not stand a chance to rise in the political career. So that is one challenge. Then major parties, they have similar policies and programs. So it does not give a real option to people. So all of them, they are same. To sum up, I talked about the need for election. Then I talked about the features of democratic elections. Then I talked about the electoral process in India. Then about election commission, what happens after election results are out, and what are the challenges to free and fair election. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you.